Hey guys, welcome back. Today, we are going to review Bambu Lab A1. I bought this printer on December 14 when it first released, around $610 with the AMS Lite and plus shipping and tax. They sold A1 by itself for $399 MSRP. Let's go over some of the technical detail and see why would you consider this another best slinger from Bambu Lab. First of all, the new A1 looks very similar to A1 Mini. The overall style is very much carried over from A1 Mini. Or it could be A1 Mini is carried over from A1, who knows. The machine is fully covered with injection molding plastic. Under a plastic cover, the entire machine was heavily used aluminum piece to improve overall frame rigidity and stability. Very interesting, under the printer base, there are 4 hollow silicone feet. I think the hollow silicone was designed to absorb some of the vibration from the printer. A1 used a linear rail on x-axis, metal rail with metal wheels on y-axis, and 2 lead screws on the z-axis. The 2 lead screws on z-axis are buried within the gantry vertical frame. It makes the printer look very clean overall, but it will be headache to do the maintenance in a later day. Bambu Lab stated that A1 could reach 500 mm per second 2-head moving speed and 10,000 mm per second maximum acceleration. Pay attention here, 2-head moving speed, not printing speed. It is more like a marketing slogan things just like everyone else does out there. The disadvantage on y-axis due to mechanical structure is still there, which we are going to talk about more in the printing assignment. But it is still a very fast printing speed overall. A1 also have quick swap nozzle feature, or it is more like a swap entire hot end. The extruder assembly is very much carried over from the A1 Mini. I have confirmed that the nozzle from the A1 Mini is also compared with the A1. If you are someone who likes to use different size of nozzle for different prints, this will be a game changer feature for you. The hot end is come with 300 maximum temperature, which means it should be able to print some of the high temperature filament like ABS or carbon fiber blend. Also, due to a lack of enclosure, some of exotic filament might be okay if you print occasionally, but may not be good enough if you are printing a lot of those filament. The extruder cable here might be a bit problematic from the stock setup. The cable will sometimes caught by the gantry and pulling the cable out from this point. The major change from A1 Mini is that the build plate size is finally 250 mm, which is exactly same with the X and P series. Their build plate are actually identical. Under the build plate, we see the heater bed is different from anything else in the market. We have seen thin aluminum plate with a magnet sticker set up for almost all the 3D printers in the market. But over here, A1 does not use magnet sticker. Instead, A1 has machined a lot of slot for magnet. I don't know if this design is aimed to get less warping issue over time due to the thermal expansion effect to the aluminum plate. The build plate assembly itself is fully covered with plastic, so I can't really tell if the heated element is anything different with everyone else out there. The max bed temperature for A1 is also 100 Celsius degrees. I have also found that the temperature across the entire build plate is somehow not very evenly distributed. A1 does not use pressure sensor for automatic bed leveling like X and P series. Like A1 Mini, A1 also uses added sensor to calculate distance from nozzle to the printer bed. It will also calculate Z-axis relative height to the build plate, so there is no manual Z-offset input needed. Added sensor also works for active flow rate compensate features. A1 also has self-functional tests when you first time running it. It includes resonation compensate, active noise cancellation, and bed leveling. The noise cancellation feature works great on my A1. It has significantly reduced the noise from the printer. Combined with soft lag setup, there is also no any weird resonation from the printer. Bambu Lab also have increased touchscreen size to 3.5 inch on A1. Still not a very big size, but good enough for daily use. The resolution from this screen is very good, but a bit of slow refresh rate and refresh speed. You can feel small visible delay on every operation. All the UI layout is straightforward and easy to use. A1 also comes with a camera on the gantry, a little bit of weird angle, but with okay resolution. A1 does not produce any noise during idle. The noise level for A1 at 6 feet away. Three feet, and at a closer distance. The electricity consumption during idle and printing. I think AMS Lite combo is another highlight for this printer. I was saying that the A1 Mini is the lowest priced multi-color printer, but lack of a bit of usability due to build plate size at 180mm. Now, A1 AMS Lite combo with only $100 price increased compared to A1 Mini makes A1 Mini even more not make sense to go for. Features like reading Bambu Lab filament information through NFC tags, filament backup function, and other features all come with the AMS Lite. But we can see AMS Lite is no longer enclosure space, so your filament are directly exposed to the moisture. The filament do not merge into the PTFE tube and send into the extruder. Instead, all four tubes are merged to the top of the filament hub, on top of the extruder. So compared to original AMS, the filament retraction distance have significantly reduced. It also means that you will not have the issue where filament jamming under AMS box. At the same time, there is no filament weightlifting issue compared to AMS. Because of the filament runout sensor is so close to the extruder, your filament will be printing almost every single bit of it. So, it is a simpler and more effective system overall, but at the same time, it is a downgrade due to lack of enclosure. The printer itself takes a bit front and back footprint like all the best slinger does. With the AMS Lite on the side, the actual footprint is a lot bigger than my P1S. You could also choose to download Bambu Lab official upgrade and mount the AMS Lite on top of gantry. A lot of people have tested that, and there is no major impact to the printing quality. But my table is a bit of too wobble, so I don't think it will work out on me. I'll probably just leave it on the side. Before I started with a regular test print, I have run a print to test one of my root helper design on A1. I have encountered some of a weird issue. I have my printer file leave as default from Bambu Lab Slicer for A1. I slice the model and store on a micro SD card. When I try to print on the printer, the self-calibration before every print seems in a bit weird logic. If I select bed leveling here, it will do the bed leveling twice. If I don't select the bed leveling, it will still do it. And then the bed leveling will be performed after the purge line and continue with the actual printing part without heating the nozzle from 140 Celsius degrees. So my print first layer fails almost every single time. I went ahead to upgrade all the firmware and all the issues seems to disappear. But now I'm end up with a very low Z offset value by default. I tried to fix it by resetting to the factory and rerun all the calibration things, but it did not help. I have to change the starting G code from the slicer. It seems to work this time. I have continued to run the first layer test print, but result does not seem very promising. I tend to believe it is something related to the firmware, but I can't do anything to help it. Plus, it does not look horrible. I'll probably just leave it for now. I continue with the calibration cube. This is a little different calibration cube, but all the test features are similar to a regular calibration cube. You can see the first layer is still a bit too low. All the layer finish looks good. These two corners sticking out a bit due to the scene setting. The top finish layer looks a bit rough. The dimensions are within a acceptable range. I continue to slide one benchy with the most default setting from the slicer. The bench looks almost perfect, beside the cooling line here. Compared to default setting benchy from P1S with exactly same filament. Which one do you think is better? I think they looks almost identical to me. As many of you already know, bad slinger come with a disadvantage, while y-axis is carrying a build plate, moving and stopping rapidly. The amount of momentum during high-speed printing will cause printing quality issue. Also, the y-axis acceleration and printing speed will generally slower than the x-axis. That's one of the reasons that why coax Y structure is more preferred by many people. I placed these two Z-wobble test models at opposite side corner of the build plate, so every single layer of the print y-axis will be moved the maximum travel distance on the build plate. Although I did not increase the speed to the very crazy amount, but with the default speed setting, this is still a stress test for the best slinger. Now we see a lot of orange skin looks like effect all across the entire surface. I have experienced a very similar result from the A1 Mini. It only appears on the matte filament with the active flow calibration on. You can see there is some bad layer finish as the model height increases. It looks bad on the y-axis side, but not as bad on the x-axis side. Let's take a look at the one from the P1S with exactly same filament. The printing time on the P1S is also shorter compared to A1. Let's pick one of each and do a comparison under same light condition. I continue to try with a silk filament. The print turned out pretty good. And it runs very smooth. I have replaced the nozzle to 0.6mm and continue with this wide model. I also have changed the layer height to 0.42mm. I stopped this print halfway. I want to mention that this is not because of the printer. It's just because 0.42 layer height are not able to reflect a small parameter change from this model, so the layer does not perfectly lay on top of each other. I continue to print the same model, but this time this is not a vice model. The planter has also been scaled down. The layer height also has changed to 0.3mm. The planter part turned out great this time, but due to the layer height, you can still see around a small parameter area. All those sharp turning into a small hole over here. Let's continue with the PETG filament. This model is very easy to print with a PLA filament, but when you attempt to print with a PETG filament, it is a bit of a challenging. I quickly noticed that the bottom layer has not sticking well. Some of the edges are actually curved during the print, but if you look at the bottom layer, it actually has some elephant feet, so it means the filament were overlaid on the bottom layer. The model is acceptable overall, but you can find a lot of small defects all over the place. I switched to ABS filament with a 0.6mm nozzle again. This print turned out perfect. The bottom layer sticks well and looks clean. All the small parameter and layer finish looks absolutely decent. I changed to another ABS filament with 0.4 nozzle. I did not put a brimstone on, but even the small parameter part stayed on the build plate with no issue. Print looks okay overall. There are some overhang issues due to very little cooling was turned on for the ABS. Other than that, all the layers looks very clean. Final thoughts of Bambu Lab A1. I think this will be a popular model on this mid-level budget entry-level 3D printer. I believe there are many people who cares about if it is a best slinger or not, as long as the printer offers solid value and the price is right. People will vote with their money. It is also interesting to see that Bambu Lab progressively having their printer out and targeting a different price range. Now I think many of you do a lot of cross-shopping and do comparison before buying your first 3D printer. Now, I am not a fanboy from Bambu Lab, and I don't want to talk about too much of the pros and cons regarding open source and closed source here today. I'm just trying to bring myself as a regular customer who trying to buy their first 3D printer. I don't have enough money to spend on $1,000 for a 3D printer when I'm new to this hobby. There are a lot of $100 to $200 budget entry-level machine out there, and a lot of a clipper-based high-speed best slinger around $300 to $350 price range. Many brands have their Core XY machine around $400 to $550 price range. Going upward, you have a Prusa MK4S and Bambu Lab P1S around $700 or $800 price range. An A1 Mini with 399 MSRP, equipped with a linear rail, a full metal guide rail, and slightly bigger build plate size. It'll make you think those features is something additional money for the upgrade. But this price sets very close to those budget Core XY machine out there, like creality K1. I think this is where it's hard to make a decision. Should I go for a Core XY machine with a better speed potential, or go for this best slinger that has a solid hardware offer? I would like to just mention some of the pros and cons first throughout my test and give you some of my thoughts at the end. Let's talk about pros first. Number 1. It is a very quiet printer. There are no rattling sound or high-pitched noise during printing. All the noise mainly comes from the part cooling fan with a little moving sound. If your ear is sensitive like me, I think this will be the biggest reason you're buying this printer. Number 2. A1 has a good printing speed. Forget about a 500mm per second two-head moving speed, that kind of marketing slogan thing. A1 printing speed is in line or slightly better with those best slinger currently in the market. Although it does not have the extreme printing speed like a Core XY machine does, but it is relatively good printing speed for most prints and still return a good printing quality. Number 3. It is relatively easy to set up. The machine comes mostly pretty simple. The entire setup might take you somewhere around 20 to an hour to start your first print. The printer itself will run a lot of feature self-test and getting ready for you. If you are new to 3D printing, there might be a little learning curve for you to learn how to use those basic slicer settings and learn those turns and settings. Or if you are buying Bambu Lab filament with it and prefer to use a mobile app, then you'll probably get one of the most best 3D printing experience out there. Number 4. The printer itself is well designed and with a solid hardware offer. The machine overall are highly integrated, with a lot of aluminum to improve overall rigidity and stability. The entire machine is designed to print fast speed from the ground up. The linear rails and full metal rails and wheel setup is better for high-speed printing, and it will be last longer with a proper maintenance. Number 5. The AMS Lite multicolor printing solution is somehow better than the original AMS, besides there is no enclosure for the filament. The multicolor system itself, even though produces a lot of filament waste during the color change, but it is relatively reliable, and I have encountered very little issue with it so far. Let's talk about the cons now. First, A1 makes me feel like it's being rushed to the market in order to catch out those holiday season sale peak. I encountered some of the firmware issue during the initial test. If I use the SD card to store the print file, no matter if I select bed leveling or not, it will do the bed leveling before print. If I select the bed leveling, it will do bed leveling twice. When the bed leveling was done after the purge line, the printer will directly continue at actual printing without increasing nozzle temperature, so the first layer will be almost guaranteed to be fail. My AMS Lite also have an issue where the slot 3 always slip and cause print fail. Then, the firmware has been updated twice in the past few days. AMS Lite firmware also being updated. Now all the logic issue before print has been fixed, and my AMS Lite issue on slot 3 has been fixed too. But new issue has been arise. The preset value for Z offset seems a bit too low. I have to reset the printer to the factory and redo all the self-calibration things again, but it did not help. So I have to go back to the slicer setting and change the Z offset value from the starting G code and to make it work correctly. It fixed the issue on the files that I sliced by myself, but if I'm trying to use a Bambu Lab mobile app and print through my phone, the first layer issue is still there. And my first layer test across the entire build plate was not pretty. Number 2. Although A1 could reach 100 Celsius degrees on the build plate, without a fully enclosed build plate area, A1 will not be an efficient machine to print high temperature filament like ABS on carbon fiber. I have tested a few ABS print during the printing assignment. It has all turned out good printing quality, and it does not have a bad adhesion issue at all. But we have also seen the bed temperature across the build plate is somewhere not very evenly distributed. I also encountered PETG warping issue for relatively small printing size. Number 3. Due to the structure of the A1, The entire machine is almost built with an injection molding plastic and custom fabrication aluminum piece. There is not much room for you to make adjustment or upgrade beside those little printable things. Plus, Bambu Lab printer is closed-sourced. If you are looking for a first printer that could help you to learn 3D printing and trickling, A1 might not be the one. But if you are looking for a printer that will return your print after training with a minimal trickling and mods, this is right for you. Number 4. The AMS Lite does not have an enclosure, so if you live with a humid area, there might be a problem. I think you should have enough information to determine if A1 is the right printer for you at this point. I think it really depends on what you are looking for. If you are someone who wants to buy your first printer and getting into 3D printing as a hobby, and learn all the hardware things and potentially enjoy an upgrade and mod your own printer, there might be very minimal things you can do with the A1. On the other hand, if all you want is print, and you don't care about 3D printer and all the mods and stuff, A1 could be the best one in terms of printing quality, printing speed, and it is also the most easy to use best slinger currently in the market. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you soon.